Welcome everyone. I am your host Dr. Yasir from Olympian Water Testing, an exclusive New York City and New Jersey based water testing company in the United States. Today I am going to update you about an important drinking water contaminant mercury, which is a heavy metal whose elevated levels in your household drinking water can pose serious health risks to humans. Therefore, its monitoring in your drinking water sources is very essential to keep you safe from mercury exposure through drinking water. My today's video will help you develop a better understanding on drinking water mercury contamination, in which I will describe you its major sources of contamination, regulations, health risks, detection and removal approaches to keep your water safe from mercury toxicity. I will be covering following contents in my video, which include the background information on mercury in drinking water, its major sources through which mercury can enter in the drinking water systems and contaminate it. Next, I will update you on the regulatory status of mercury in drinking water in the United States, followed by a brief description on various health impacts associated with mercury exposure through drinking water. I will then describe some known quantification or detection approaches for mercury in drinking water and various recommended methods and suggestions for mercury removal from drinking water to make it consumable for humans. Finally, I will give you some recommendations to keep yourselves and families safe from drinking water associated mercury exposure. First of all, I will describe you about the background information on mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that mainly occurs naturally in the environment, including the natural occurrence of mercury in water bodies due to various geological processes, or mercury can be present in rocks, minerals and soils from where it can leach into groundwater or surface water through erosion and weathering. Chemically, mercury can exist in both inorganic and organic forms. The inorganic mercury includes either elemental mercury or any other inorganic compounds bonded to mercury, such as mercury chloride and mercurous chloride, etc. Whereas the organic mercury refers to different carbon compounds attached to the elemental mercury. Among various organic forms, methyl mercury is widely studied compound in various environmental matrices, and studies have shown a strong evidence of adverse health outcomes associated with mercury exposure among humans. Talking about the toxicity, mercury is a highly toxic element which can cause various health issues in humans even at very low exposure levels. Its volatile chemical nature can make it susceptible to enter human body through various routes, including ingestion, inhalation and dermal contact. Because of its volatile nature, mercury can evaporate and be transported to long distances from its point source and can contaminate the environment through atmospheric deposition phenomena. It is important to note that the toxicity of mercury is mainly related to its transformations through various processes that determine the extent of toxicity in different environmental compartments. In the aquatic environment, this transformation is triggered through certain bacteria that carry out the methylation of mercury by adding the methyl group to the elemental mercury through the process of biomethylation. This gives rise to two possibilities, including either contamination of ground and surface water, or it can bioaccumulate in the aquatic organisms from where it can enter into the human food chain. Occurrence of mercury in drinking water may take place either naturally, including the natural occurrence of mercury in water bodies due to various geological processes, or mercury can be present in rocks, minerals and soil from where it can leach into groundwater or surface water through erosion and weathering, or through human activities such as mining, industrial processing, coal burning, runoffs, agricultural practices, wastewater treatment plants and incineration of solid wastes. From these sources, mercury can either leach down to contaminate the groundwater reservoir or the surface water through runoff processes. Contamination from both natural and anthropogenic sources is responsible for their adverse impacts in environment as well as humans. Talking about the regulatory status of mercury in drinking water, following the recommendations of Safe Drinking Water Act, US EPA and WHO have set an MCL of 0.002 milligrams per liter for mercury in drinking water to be safe for drinking. Therefore, public water systems must ensure that your drinking water does not exceed the MCL for mercury. More details can be found by visiting the shared URLs of EPA, where you can find up-to-date details on MCLs of various known contaminants including mercury and EPA's commitment towards reducing mercury pollution and exposures. Studies suggest that the exposure to certain level of mercury may lead to various health problems in humans. Among these are the developmental problems, as mercury can adversely affect fetuses and young children, resulting in learning disabilities, reduced IQ levels, and delayed motor skills. Some other potential health impacts associated with elevated and prolonged mercury exposure includes neurological effects, renal problems, as mercury ions have strong renal tubular toxicity, resulting in vacuolation, regeneration, and necrosis of the tubular epithelial cells. Together, these effects result in kidney diseases. Some other health problems related to mercury exposure include gastrointestinal and cardiovascular impacts. It is very important that your drinking water should always be tested from qualified and experienced experts to get the accurate and reliable results. Mercury can be quantified in drinking water using spectrophotometric methods, mainly atomic absorption spectrophotometer, with various detection systems such as cold vapor and hydride generation. The cold vapor atomic absorption spectrophotometry involves the conversion of mercury into its elemental form using chemical reduction. This is followed by measuring light absorption at a specific wavelength by mercury vapors. In addition, hydride generation method is also used widely for mercury detection in water samples. For high desired sensitivity and lower detection limits, inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry is a widely adopted method for mercury detection that can detect mercury at parts per billion levels with high accuracy. Numerous strategies and techniques have been reported so far for effective mercury removal from drinking water. Some commonly used removal approaches involve activated carbon filtration method, which involve the absorption of mercury on the carbon surface and is effective mainly for removing dissolved mercury in water. Some other removal methods are also available, and choice of selection depends on availability and affordability to adopt specific approach. Commonly adopted mercury removal methods from drinking water include the electrocoagulation, which is an emerging technology in water treatment. It combines the advantages of coagulation, flotation, and electrochemistry. It is an electrochemical process that uses electric current to remove suspended, emulsified, or dissolved pollutants such as mercury from drinking water. Biological processes involving specific microbes and algae are applied for mercury removal and are considered cost-effective and environmentally friendly methods for mercury removal. In addition, nanotechnology-based approach has been recently adopted and has high efficiency of mercury removal from drinking water. This includes the use of carbon nanotubes and nanomaterials including nanoparticles, nanotubes, and nanocomposites, which have been effectively applied in recent times for effective mercury removal. Lastly, the widely adopted method for drinking water treatment include reverse osmosis filters, which are capable of removing a variety of contaminants in drinking water including mercury up to 95 to 97%. To keep your drinking water safe from mercury contamination, it is highly recommended that you should conduct a routine monitoring of drinking water in your house and workplaces from certified professionals. In case any mercury levels are detected in your drinking water, it is highly recommended to remove its contamination using recommended removal strategy. Further, you must ensure to trace and mitigate various sources that can potentially contaminate the drinking water system of your house and workplace, and make sure to replace or clean the water pipes and plumbing every 5 years. This is all about my video on mercury in drinking water. I hope this video will greatly help you understanding basic concepts on drinking water contamination of mercury, its associated health impacts, and how you can avoid or reduce its exposure in your household drinking water. However, if you still have any query, please don't hesitate to reach us at the following telephone numbers and we will be pleased to respond to your queries. Thank you very much and goodbye.